Please allow myself to introduce myself. Skinny Legs here. Might actually have to use that as the intro to all my videos. Has a good ring to it. Anyway, welcome to the first episode of a new segment I'm calling Spokes, Jokes, and Anecdotes. In today's episode, I'll be riding my bike through Morningside Park and UTSC Valley in Scarborough. I mean, people say there's not a lot to do or see in Scarborough. They'd be right. In this episode, I plan to talk about motivation. What keeps you up at night? What wakes you up in the morning? And I'm not talking about a bad bladder here either. So here we go. We're about to go down to the hill here. Scarborough Trails, Morningside Trails. All right, so before I start talking about motivation, I thought, this is the first episode, so I better kind of explain a few things. So when I bought my Insta360 camera a few months back, I knew I wanted to do something with it on my bike. So I went out a few times and, I thought, okay, maybe my inclination was to start just telling jokes. I was going to call it Jokes on Spokes. But, I was telling jokes to myself pretty much, without an audience. I actually found myself, talking to the squirrels as I passed them by. I was actually going to call it Skinny Legs Talks to the Squirrels. But, I was in the middle of one of my knock-knock jokes with one of the squirrels, and then it just kind of hit me. I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I could do a lot more with this. So I wanted to, talk about some more serious topics. And that's when I decided I'm going to call it Spokes, Jokes, and Anecdotes. I mean, the funny thing is I could have easily just called it Spokes, Jokes, and Artichokes with how much I know about artichokes. I love artichokes. They're one of my favorite fruit. But yeah, my grand idea with this segment, it's basically, number one, try to promote discussion. I'd love to get you guys commenting on the part, what I'm discussing, or if you want to just let me know your feedback on the concept in general. That's number one, foremost. Number two, if you don't like my voice, if you don't like what I'm discussing, why don't you just mute the video, but just enjoy the scenery. I did this a few times. I brought the video home. I watched it. I found it very relaxing just watching the trees pass by. It's actually hypnotic even. Number three, I thought, these videos could actually serve some historical value. If YouTube is still around 100 years from now and my video's still up, there could be people 100 years from now just wondering how did these areas of Scarborough look at one point. So, there's that. And number four, at the very least, there could be people living in Scarborough right now looking for new trails to walk on, bike on. So, yeah, I hope I got those in the right order. I'm a bit dyslexic. In fact, I'm an agnostic, dyslexic insomniac. I stay up all night wondering if there is a dog. But anyway, to the topic of today, motivation. So my YouTube channel, in case you guys don't know, big focus on health and fitness. So far, the videos I've uploaded and a lot of videos I plan to upload will have to do with physical health. But I would definitely like to include some mental health as well. I personally feel that motivation is so strongly tied to mental health, it's not funny. Motivation for me, it's a topic, it's a word that I think about multiple times per day. Many times before I go to sleep, it's usually I think, was I motivated enough today? Did I get enough done? And literally it sets the mood. I think motivation, I got a lot of leaves stuck in my wheel here, wow. Motivation, I feel like it could definitely lead to happiness, whereas if you don't have motivation, it could lead to depression. Well, of course, there's a lot of things that could do that, but that's just one avenue of it. But where do we get our motivation from? I think at the root of it, it's our passions for things, of course. You have to have passion to do something to have motivation, to do it. I asked the question at the beginning of the video, what gets you up in the morning? I'm not talking about your 9-to-5 job or, your 1-year-old child that happens to literally wake you up in the morning. I mean, these things are all well and good. I mean, we all need our jobs to make money. We all want to have families, or not everyone, but you know, these are the types of things that are important to us. We all, you know, we find ourselves doing these things in our adult life, and yeah, but like the thing is, like if you think about a thing like your job, I mean, I love my job, but at the end of the day, I'm working for someone else's dream. It's not really my dream. So that's what I'm trying to get at with this video, is like, what is your dreams? What are your passions? What gets you up in the morning? Like what would get you up in the morning, assuming you had that motivation? To give you an example, this YouTube channel for me, and it's not really like a passion I've had since I was a kid, but it's just, you know, I guess at the beginning of COVID, I was talking with some friends of mine. We were thinking of starting a YouTube channel, a variety type show where it could be skits, music, whatever. And what happened was it was just too hard to kind of get everyone to meet up. So, but I had so much motivation in that month, I didn't want to let it go to waste. So I thought, you know, I have so much, you know, I love talking about health and fitness. I have a lot of back pain. I'll definitely be doing some videos about things that have worked for me with my back pain. That's coming up. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk about these things and just kind of be creative again for once in my life. It's been years. I feel like I haven't been creative since maybe back in high school, university times. So it's kind of nice to just, you know, you start up a YouTube channel. It gives you something to think about other than just the mundane day-to-day things that we all have to think about as adults. One thing I find interesting about doing this YouTube channel is, for example, if I were to take this concept alone, this whole spokes, jokes, and anecdotes, I've went through many revisions of this, like I mentioned, and it's definitely been something that's kept me up during the night. I'll go to my bed at 12. I won't go to sleep till 4. I remember when I first thought about this idea, I sent because I'm pretty forgetful, so I sent myself an email. Just, you know, to remind myself in the morning, oh, you know, let me think about this more in the morning. But the thing is, once you have an idea like that, you're almost not able to rest. So I kept, you know, it wasn't until like 4 hours later where I probably sent myself a 20-thread email, idea after idea, things that I would talk about, maybe small little jokes I would insert. It just wouldn't stop. And then even like the next morning, first thing I thought about in the morning is, again, the idea. So it's just nice. It's nice to have that. So I think what I want to talk about next, I want to give you guys some tips that have worked for me. Because sometimes, I got to admit, it's hard to find the motivation. I felt like I lost it for a few years there, actually. Kind of came back to me during COVID, of all things. But let me give you guys a few tips that have worked for me. First one, sleep faster. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Arnold Schwarzenegger speech in 2018. It was called The Speech That Broke the Internet. You know, he talked about his life, he talked about meeting his goals, and, you know, he talks about a lot of people always complaining that there's no time, which is, like he says, it really is bullshit. If you want to tell me, okay, you don't have the energy after a long day of work, okay, that I can understand, but to say you don't have the time, we could all find time to do things, trust me. We could all find the time, and one way to kind of do that, I mean, literally, like he said, sleep faster. You know, if you're getting 8 hours of sleep right now, I mean, what I did during, like around the beginning of COVID, I kind of minus 2 hours. So I've been getting on average 6 hours of sleep. But I gotta tell you, I'm just so much more, I feel more alive, you know, just I'm telling you, like the motivation, the passions, they're so important in life. You know, for the happiness and all that. Oh, just gotta go through here. So anyway, number 2, to-do lists. I always like to say, challenge yourself on paper. I have monthly to-do lists. I have daily to-do lists. Usually the monthly to-do lists, of course, are more like long-term goals. The daily ones, of course, being short-term goals. The idea is to always be checking things off. I find like it's just a very great feeling to just check off a box on a paper. It's such a good feeling. So, because what I find interesting as well is over the last few years of me not being motivated, what I would find is, you have your Monday to Friday work week. Friday would come around, and I would feel like I got nothing done, like as if like the Monday to Friday just kind of went, like a snap. I'm like, what the hell? Where did that week go? I didn't do anything. I just, I did my regular routine every day for 5 days, and I got sick of that. I felt like a robot. So again, challenge yourself in these to-do lists. Give yourself small goals. I mean, it's all about, small goals eventually reaching to a bigger goal, hopefully. And speaking about small goals, funny enough, so I'm approaching, so by the way, I did just ride through Morningside Park, and I'm actually in the UTSC Valley area right now. I'll be coming out onto Kingston Road here. I'm about to go up a big hill. I'm gonna see what happens here, but speaking about challenging yourself, I'm gonna challenge myself to get up this hill in a minute. Now again, I don't really plan to do any editing with these videos. It's gonna be like, out of all the videos I plan to upload on this channel, this will be the most natural. You gotta be natural when you have trees passing by you. So I don't really plan to do editing, so I'm not gonna actually like put a timer and like really, I'm just gonna hope I do this in a minute. So here we go, I'm gonna start, and when I get to the top, I'll go into tip number 3. Here we go. So let me see if I get up here in a minute. Enjoy the scenery. It was actually around here last time where I was talking to the squirrels. I was going up so slowly, they're like, geez, man. I was like, nah, I just want to finish the knock-knock joke. Crap, I'm already getting tired, see? I mean, they don't call me skinny legs for a reason. Woo, here we go. Of course, by the top, I'm gonna be out of breath. Come on. I might have to edit out my panting. Come on. Okay, the hard part's over. Okay, I don't know if that was a minute. I'm not gonna check. If someone wants to verify that, be my guest. Okay, let me just gather my thoughts, my breath, my pride. Okay, here we go. So like I said, number 1, sleep faster. Number 2, make yourself some to-do lists. Number 3, and this is an interesting one, surround yourself with motivated people. I've been kind of fortunate. My parents, quite motivated, always doing stuff. I got a lot of friends as well, always doing stuff. I find that energy, that motivation, that passion, that drive, it can rub off on you. So that's number 3. Find someone that's motivated, stay close to them. All right, you guys, that's gonna be it for the first episode. Please, let me know in the comments, what are your passions? What gets you motivated? What gets you up at night? If you like the idea of what I'm doing here, please like the video, subscribe. I'll definitely be doing more. All right, guys. Skinny Legs signing out.